OSU dead? Is OSU dying? These are some of the questions, along with others, that we will be answering in today's video. Is a game about clicking circles becoming a thing of the past? Or is it here to last and endure for countless years to come? As a player who recently ignited their passion for OSU, I wanted to understand if OSU is considered dead in 2026. So please, sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy the video. But before we get right into it, make sure to also subscribe and leave a like, so you can watch more videos like this. Before we answer this question, we first need to define what it means for a game to be dead. Because the term dead game is one of the most overused terms in the gaming space. And amongst gamers, it can have various meanings. People are often throwing around the term dead game for a couple of different reasons. When a game is down from its all-time peak popularity, take Fall Guys for example. Around its 2020 release date, it once likely boasted tens of millions of monthly active players during this initial hype stage. Now, it still attracts a couple million unique monthly users based on EU's regulatory disclosure requirements, reporting an average of 2 million active accounts per month during a period of 6 months in 2025. Although there are no publicly disclosed player counts in 2026, it's likely well into the millions globally in 2026. The game is not dead by any account, but people who compare its initial success to its current state may refer to the game as dead. Still a very popular game in general, but it is a shell of its former glory. People can also misrepresent a game as dead if the game falls out of mainstream and the hype dies down. Team Fortress 2 is a perfect example of this. Less trending YouTube videos, few big streamers, recently a smaller overall presence on social media. Although this can be an indicator of whether a game is dead or dying, it does not tell us the entire picture. A game can still be insanely popular, but newer trending games can be overshadowing it and stealing all the relevance. Team Fortress 2 has a heavily active player base, but other popular games such as Marvel Rivals or one of 2026's most trending titles, Mecha Chameleon, current mainstream juggernauts, are more watchable on platforms like Twitch and YouTube because there are newer, fresher titles. Team Fortress 2 has been out since 2007, and most people pronounce the game as dead. However, it averages 50,000 concurrent players on Steam, so there is still a large player base that continues to enjoy the game, even close to 2 decades later. This disproportionate representation on social media gives the illusion that the game is forgotten and/or dead, despite maintaining a large dedicated player base. So these common dead game interpretations really only tell us part of the story when it comes to determining how much life a game has left. For the purposes of this video, we're going to use one simple definition of a dead game. The player base is so small and inactive that the game is unable to be played the way it was intended. Now, some of you may or may not be wondering, how is our definition of a dead game going to correctly apply to OSU, as the game is more of a solo-oriented game which can be played offline? That is a fair point, but every game relies on a community to survive long term. If player support becomes so minimal that updates, multiplayer functionality, bug fixes, ranking systems, beatmap creations, and live events would gradually fade away entirely because funding and motivation would be depleted. This kind of scenario would effectively be OSU's game over scenario. You could still play offline with servers shut down, however, it would only exist as a forgotten fossil, receiving attention from an extremely niche group of people rather than the thriving ecosystem OSU is established in today. Based on this definition of a community so gone and so small that the game cannot be played as intended, OSU is not dead at all and is actually thriving with a strong, dedicated player base and constant game improvements in motion. Now that we have established that the game is not dead, it's important to understand the popularity status of the game. There are a few metrics we can use: concurrent players and unique monthly users, social media presence, the game's popularity compared to major titles or just titles within its niche, its timeline popularity based on the game's history. It would be foolish of us just to use one of these metrics to determine the popularity of the game. We must use all of them, of course. So, where does OSU stand right now? Well, there have been around 27.5 million user-created accounts all time, which is an astronomical amount of players. Around 1 million monthly unique account logins, at least 10k people logged in at any given time, a functional ranking system, decently full multiplayer lobbies, major updates and overhauls. Also, a continuous stream of community uploaded beatmaps. Although the OSU player base is significantly down from its peak of 600k unique users per day in 2021, it is still sitting at a very respectable 100k per day. Now, if we look on Google web search, OSU peaked around 2021. This was likely due to people being locked in from the pandemic. And because OSU is a free, lightweight game, it can become an attractive choice for many gamers. Around this time, there were also more content creators gravitating towards OSU, allowing it to become more mainstream around this time. Since then, the lockdown has ended, and many people have shifted gears back into school or work. There is less influx of new or returning players because gaming as a whole is less prevalent than in 2019 to 2021. Streaming and content has also been slowing down for OSU over the past couple years. So, how does OSU stack up against other games? Well, compared to other popular rhythm-based games, such as Dance of Fire and Ice or Geometry Dash, for example, OSU is a very strong, attractive option. For its age and niche, OSU is still a high performer. It's certainly held up nicely over the years, and has arguably secured a spot on the top 10 most popular rhythm games of all time, amongst games like Guitar Hero, Just Dance, and Beat Saber. OSU has not gone up in flames and emerged as a shell of its former self. It's thriving with no signs of dying anytime soon. So in conclusion, is OSU dead? Not even close. Based on our definition of dead, it is certainly not dead in the slightest, and it is still able to be enjoyed exactly how intended, with imminent improvements and evolutions. Now, is it dying? Also, no. The game has just returned to its pre-pandemic popularity and maintains a stable, dedicated player base. However, the game itself may never see immense top-tier game popularity. And it's not because it's a bad game, it's just niche by design, and this limits mainstream appeal. Not to mention that its steep learning curve and skill ceiling make it difficult for mature gamers, when free time and reaction speed naturally diminish with age, the two important factors to becoming skilled within OSU. However, these limitations do not render OSU dead by any means. It's just a matter of playing into its unique characteristics and finding ways to bypass these limitations. In its current state, it might not have the potential to be the next prime Fortnite, but there might be a future where the game develops and advances in ways we can't currently understand that would allow it to surge in popularity. In my opinion, OSU actually might be in the midst of a resurgence. A lot of older standard players are making the change over to laser, which offers a new, unique, fresh version of the game, as well as a base that's easier to update and change over time. Ranked is also being introduced and is being adjusted based on continuous community feedback. This competitive functionality will allow for friendly competition and will provide a new, unique element to new and returning players alike, who are entertained by this game mode and the competition it provides. LAN events are also more popular than ever before, with more funding and hype from the community and larger turnouts than ever before. So no, the game is certainly not on its way out the door. Whether you're a current or a future OSU enthusiast, the future of OSU depends on the community. Give feedback after game adjustments and updates, support OSU creators, and maintain your will to play the game for years to come. This will massively help out OSU in the long run. A lot of effort was put into this video, so if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and support the channel. Also, make sure to join the community Discord in the description below, so you can make friends and hang out with fellow OSU enthusiasts. And as always, stay tuned for the next upload, and good luck clicking circles.